This is my first vlog of the mini vlog series, and this is the performance evaluation. So my evaluation of the rehearsal, so the positives, I thought the composition came together really well because I was conscious that when I went into that group, whilst I'd spoken to people a bit, I didn't really know them. So I'd come up with a chord progression, which was just ADC power chords and a bit of a solo and a bit of a bass line. So that when we went in on the first rehearsal, I just took that to Matthew and June, they were the ones there, and I played that to them, and then we came up with the drum part, and then it went from there, and I thought that would be better and break the ice then, than kind of sit awkwardly and not much happen. So from that point, it came together really quickly, which was what I'd hoped. And it was also a lot easier for people to then bring ideas to the table because I'd already kind of thrown out what I had. And I think because of that, we did have really good communication between me and Matthew, and that's how we came up with all the different parts to bulk up the song, but also add different features, so it was more authentic, like call and response between the guitar and vocals, which is really prominent in tracks like God Save the Queen, and we use it just as prominently in our track. And Lauren and June mainly came up with the lyrics because Lauren was singing and June intended on doing backing vocals, but in the end we all ended up doing backing vocals for the line Just Bloody Filth because it emphasised what we were trying to say and it showed that we were just all involved, which I thought was really good. But I thought the negatives of the rehearsal were that only me and Matthew were present at all of the rehearsals. So it wasn't that no one else was there. People were there going through, but we were the only two that were there all the way through. So that enabled us to become quite good at working together, but we didn't have input from other people most of the time, so it was mainly on us to come up with the bulk of the song. And because of that, Joe was potentially going to step in and sing, which we'd planned and rehearsed, which sounded good as well. But other than that, I think the rehearsal went really well. And then my evaluation of the performance, I thought setting up was fairly hassle-free, just because we'd discussed where we were going to stand and what we were going to do on stage before we went up. So it wasn't like fresh when we got up there. And everyone played the part as planned. I thought it all went really well on the whole. And we were really tight with the call and response. Like everyone ended on the same beat and started up again, which I think could have been really easy to mess up. But because of that, it sounded really strong because we were all tight with that. And I also thought my stage presence improved slightly, and I think it had to because of the genre and the energy of the genre. And I think I was aware of that, but I still think I can do more. And yeah, I thought the drum solo and the guitar solo also went really well. Despite the fact, I think we'd planned either Matthew was going to turn his guitar down a bit or Callum was going to turn mine up on the desk, but for whatever reason that didn't happen on the day, which is fine. So you could still hear the guitar, but it wasn't just as loud as we wanted it to be, because we wanted it to be a feature and not just fade into the background, but it was still, you could still hear it, which was fine. And yeah, and I think Lauren's stage presence was really good as well. He was really aggressive and angry, and she was kind of really pushing the point across of the song, which was mainly focuses on the people in power that kind of aren't affected by all the stuff that affects us, like the cost of living and things like that. And it was almost shouting it out at the people doing that and engaging with the audience as well. But I think on the whole, some of the other groups, all the members' stage presence was a lot better, and that's down to me and like a couple of other people maybe. but mainly me, and I'm aware of that, but I was trying to improve. But yeah, I think that's it for my performance evaluation.